Here's an interesting Deely's dilemma for you. Half-time strategies. What do you do as the coach or the manager? I'm here in London, the weather is nice, I'm out in the back garden, the vegetables are growing, the beard is getting longer from looking after the young lad, and I'm thinking about what would I do with my team now at half-time. What are your strategies? Split them up, put them all together, put them into positional units. Do you take charge completely as the manager, or do you let your players look after it? Is it a mix of both? Do you rewarm the players after half time? Do you get the flip chart out? Or what about video analysis? Stats, how do you use stats well? What about your coaches and selectors? What about your goalkeeping coach, your S&C coach? Is he involved or she involved? Have a think about it. Have a chat on the WhatsApp group. Get back to me. I'll chip in with a few ideas later on. I asked you about what you would do for your halftime strategies for your team. Thanks for everybody who came up with different ideas. We put it up on the DSS WhatsApp group. You can sign up over on the website deelysportscientist.com, and thanks to everybody who came up with ideas of some great stuff. I really enjoyed doing this one myself. I suppose I was thinking back to my time as London manager, but also working as sports scientist in QPR Academy, Kerala Blasters first team in India, and this is the plan that I came up with. Quite backed by research as well. A lot of people, Mark Russell and some lads in the universities in the UK as well, do a lot of work around this halftime strategies for performance, looking at the nutrition and rewarm and things like that. But also I wanted to look in terms of if you're a coach or a manager, and what would the players be doing as well. So I've broken it down, your 15 minutes, first half, second half, half time, and I've just gone T minus 15 and worked on from there. So the initial thing that I think is important to mention, as a coach or as a manager, use the first minute or 2 minutes just to gather your own thoughts. And I even mean, sometimes don't even talk to your selectors or your coach or your assistant. Just get a few minutes, gather your own thoughts, relax, have a think about it. You're in a highly pressurized situation of the first half, and all of a sudden then bang, you have to stop and collect your thoughts and be ready then for what you're going to say to the players. So that might be just walking in off the pitch to the dressing room. It can be out on the pitch. Just relax, gather your thoughts, speak to your trusted assistant if you if needs be, and just be ready then. In that moment then for the players, I always recommend just relax. You've done 30 minutes, 35 minutes, 45 minutes of a first half. You need your body physiologically and psychologically and mentally, emotionally, just to relax and calm down. Try to return back to homeostasis if possible, or in that direction. So just relax, see the physio, any niggles or injuries, get to the toilet, and then start chatting to the players around you. I never like to see big voices in the dressing room straight away at the end of first half, because I think that some people just want to get a big speak in. It's not the moment, heads aren't cool, so just relax. Same with the players, gather your thoughts, calm down, and then get ready for actually problem solving at half time. Spend the next 2 minutes then with so as regards the team stats, so that can be with your statistician or your performance analyst, and that'll be you, the manager, your coaches, goalkeeping coach, assistant coach, S&C coach, whoever it is, a sports scientist, and just gathering that information and seeing what's important in the stats. You're not looking for all the details, but just some of the key little things. I would spend then 1 minute, that's the point then at which I would be entering into the dressing room. I might at the very beginning go into the dressing room and actually tell the players to calm down, stop talking, relax. And at that point then I re-enter back into the dressing room and start relaying the stats to the team, okay, for this minute. Now if you're lucky enough to have video clips, then I'd show them as well. So key points in the game, and research has shown that learning occurs when you actually see the pictures of what the coach is talking about. So if you have Huddle, Performance Sports, NAC Sport, whichever one of them, and can show video clips, brilliant, okay, and that's the right time then to show that. So run through that, and again, you're only looking for key little things. So in Gaelic football, kickouts won and lost, where you're suffering turnovers, where you're losing the ball, where you're getting joy from, what channel, the right or the left channel or through the centre, where you're getting your scores from, the amount of wides or free kicks for, free kicks against, definitely, what's your tackle count, whatever it is, you pick out maybe 3 key points and relay that to the team. Don't give them too much information. Here then you've got a 3-minute window, position specific. Okay, so if you've got numerous coaches, a number of coaches, if you've got your defensive coach, attacking, midfield, goalkeeping, well, put them into those little groups. If you don't, no problem, just get the players in those positions to go together. So normally in those times I'd put the full forwards together, the half forwards, the midfielders, goalkeepers, half backs, full backs, and all those together in those positions, or full forwards, half forwards. Gives them an opportunity to come up with the problems and issues that are happening in the first half and on the pitch in the team, but also then to problem solve, and that's the key point of that. After that then they've got 3 minutes to speak together. What I would be doing as head coach or manager, that's your opportunity to go around to specific individual players. So you grab a player that you want to relay a little bit of information to about something on the pitch, whether it's be careful of that player, need to mark him tighter, or here's how you can get at this opposition team, here are the areas to exploit, whatever it is. Use that time then. Then you've got a 3-minute window to look at team specifics. So you will come up with the problems and the issues. I would start that always speaking to the team about, right, tell me what are the issues you are experiencing on the pitch? What are the problems? What are the fires that we need to put out? Because you're watching the game closely, you have the stats, you have the other coaches, but ultimately the players are experiencing things out on the pitch and they know what's happening. So come up with your problems and your issues, and obviously what do? You problem solve. So you look to solve each of those issues one by one. You take on board what the players are saying, take on board their ideas. If you agree with them, run with them. Sometimes it can get a little bit heated. You have different voices coming up with different ideas. That's where you then, as the coach or the manager, need to step in and say, this is what we're doing, this is what we're going with as a team. So you take on board everything, but ultimately those players need to come out with this halftime period knowing exactly what the plan is for the second half, and this is what we're doing as a team. Any player who's unsure about specific jobs, you've got an opportunity here, position specific time, but also in that last minute final period where the players are going to the toilet and grabbing their boots and stuff like that, you need to nab those players and make sure they know their job and follow it. Then look to the final summary key points. In this period I will always go with 3 points, no more than 3. So research has shown that players take on board 3 main points, and anything additional to that they forget. So not too much talking, summarize things very quickly so it's clear, concise, able to follow. Make sure there's no uncertainty amongst anybody, it's the team in general and individual players. And also, if you need any motivation to get them going for the second half, well, that's the period to do it. The last minute then, before going on the pitch, players will just make sure their boots are okay, any trips to the toilet, checking in with the physio, final little preps that they need to do. Okay. As regards nutrition, as soon as they come back in, they need to be rehydrating with water or electrolyte drinks, but also as well they may be taking glucose tablets, as in glucose drinks, or could be glucose gel, just to replenish the glycogen stores in the body. Also then you may give them a caffeine tablet or a caffeine drink or something like that just before going out onto the pitch. So that's important as regards to nutrition. They need to rehydrate, but they also need to replenish glucose and glycogen stores. The last 2 minutes then, I'm saying it's so first of all, they're heading back out onto the pitch, which takes a little bit of time, and take that into account, but also then to do a rewarm out on the pitch. So have your S&C coach or sports scientist on the pitch, close to the tunnel or wherever the players come out, and very quickly, it can be a 30-second, up to a minute, a rewarm there. And that can be in the form of some little fast feet and sprints, but also it can be just a tiny little bit of sport-specific movement with the ball. In Gaelic football, it can be a little bit of hand passing in a group, a little bit of even aerobic work is fine, small-sided, but some little bit of rewarm when they're back out onto the pitch. The reason for this is that the studies have shown that the muscle temperature decreases during half time, and the amount of physical output that the players can produce straight after half time decreases, and that's due to the decrease in muscle temperature. So you just want to get those players rewarmed then. And if you think about it psychologically and physiologically, players need to get back up to the high intensity height of the match. So here they're sitting down, or they're walking or standing around or whatever in the dressing room, and then they need to go 90 miles an hour straight into the match. So it's nice to have a little transition then of a rewarm back up. Okay, so they're just some of the strategies. Nice simple things, but it's important to remember good practice, best practice. A lot of it is common sense with a few little tips and strategies, and that'll get your team ready to get out for the second half and hopefully to produce the goods. One big thing, common thread that runs through all that, first of all, player ownership. So listen to the players, take on board what they're saying. They know as well as anybody about what's actually happening on the pitch. Okay, but second of all, you need to have a plan. You need to be very, very sure about what you're doing going back out onto the pitch. Everybody knows their job. Everybody knows the plan. That's it. Deely's Dilemmas, another one done. Thanks to everybody again on the DSS WhatsApp group, all the members. Great input over the last week about this topic specifically. Anybody looking to join up, deelysportscience.com.